The year is 1974. In front of the humble home of the world-famous seer, Baba Vanga, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. More than 100 people are waiting in line, their hearts filled with both anxiety and hope, all waiting to hear a few words that could change their destinies. But then, the peace is shattered. Dozens of grim-faced militiamen storm through the doors, launching a relentless search in every corner of the house. Belongings are tossed aside, furniture is overturned. They won't say what they're looking for, but Baba Vanga knows this isn't a simple inspection. It's a test. With every passing minute, the tension ratchets up. Her face grows pale, her strength slowly draining away. Still, she tries to continue her consultations for the people who have traveled so far seeking solace. That is, until the unthinkable happens. Vanga stops, demanding to be removed from the chaos. As she tries to walk over the scattered belongings, she trips and falls. The sight of her destroyed home hits her like a physical blow. The seer faints. For a moment, silence. When paramedics arrive, they find Baba Vanga in a critical pre-stroke state. But this was only the beginning. As she lies helpless, the world around her crumbles. The people who sang her praises just yesterday have vanished. Only her sister, Lyudmila, remains by her side. She's the only one not surrendering to fear, but even she knows salvation won't be easy. Lyudmila realizes there's only one option left, to turn to the one person who can stop this horror. This is a decision that will seal destinies. If Vanga survives, her bond with this person will become stronger than ever. In 1980, a woman issued a warning, "I see Kursk. It will be submerged underwater, and the whole world will weep for it." At the time, everyone assumed she meant the city of Kursk in Russia. But 20 years later, one of the world's greatest tragedies occurred. On August 12, 2000, during a torpedo launch on the nuclear submarine Kursk, two massive explosions sent the vessel to the bottom of the Barents Sea. None of the 118 people on board survived. The woman who predicted this 20 years earlier was, of course, Baba Vanga. To this day, the accuracy of her prophecies is estimated at around 85%. She's said to have foreseen the September 11 attacks, Obama's election, and even the day of her own death. Vanga left behind prophecies for every year up to 5079, a date she described as the end of everything. But contrary to what many think, Vanga wasn't born a seer. Her path through life was one of misfortune and pain. So how did she gain this sight? What were her most remarkable prophecies? And who were the beings she claimed to be in contact with? We'll find out, but first, let's go back to the beginning. 1911, a young couple, Pando and Paraskiva Sercheva, are expecting their first child. But the baby arrives prematurely and with health problems. According to tradition, they wait to name her, to see if she will survive. When she finally lets out a strong cry, the midwife asks for a name. And so begins the story of Vangelia Pandiva Sercheva, known to the world as Vanga. For a while, she had a normal childhood. But in 1914, her mother passed away. Then World War I began, and her father was sent to fight, leaving little Vanga to be cared for by neighbors and relatives. Her father survived the war, but their hometown was ceded to Yugoslavia, and he was arrested for his pro-Bulgarian activities. The family lost everything. In 1923, they moved to his hometown of Novo Selo. Life was difficult, but stable, until a terrible day changed everything. A sudden, violent storm swept through the area. 12-year-old Vangelia was lifted into the air by a powerful gust of wind and thrown into a nearby field. She was found covered in dirt and stones, her eyes filled with so much debris she couldn't open them from the pain. Doctors tried everything, but after the accident, Vanga lost her sight forever. She was sent to a school for the blind, where she learned Braille, to play piano, knit, and cook. But after 3 years, her stepmother died, and Vanga had to return home to care for her younger siblings. Her journey was already incredible, but this is where the Vanga phenomenon truly began. It started with a stolen sheep. Vanga told her father she saw the location in a dream, describing the exact courtyard where it was hidden. And she was right. Vanga explained her abilities came from invisible beings who were always around her. She even spoke of alien races that had lived on Earth but weren't yet ready to reveal themselves. In 1942, she married Dimitar Gushtarov and they moved to the small town of Petrich, where her fame exploded. Even the Bulgarian Communist Party and the country's top intellectuals began to consult her. Lines of people stretched from her house from dawn till midnight. The police sought her help for unsolved cases. In 1966, the Bulgarian State Institute of Suggestology and Parapsychology was tasked with investigating her. Over 5 years, they studied more than 7,000 visitors. The result was stunning. Over 70% confirmed that Vanga knew their past, present, or future with incredible accuracy. But let's return to 1974, to the moment Vanga's life hung in the balance. As she lay in the hospital, her sister Lyudmila was desperate. The very people who had revered Vanga were now nowhere to be found. With no other options, Lyudmila made a fateful call to Lyudmila Zhivkova. At the time, Zhivkova was a powerful figure in the Committee for Art and Culture. But more importantly, she was the daughter of the man leading Bulgaria's totalitarian regime. Zhivkova came to the hospital immediately. She ordered special care for Vanga, ensuring she would recover. Days later, Lyudmila received the good news: her sister could go home. But when she went to Vanga's room, it was empty. Panicked, she ran through the halls. The staff told her 2 men had come and taken Vanga away. In despair, Lyudmila called Zhivkova again. A car was sent, and they raced towards Petrich. On the way, they stopped at a small building. Inside, sitting among the mayor and the party secretary, still in her hospital gown, was Baba Vanga. The very officials who had harassed her for years were now pretending to care for her health. In reality, they were just scared. Zhivkova had shown her power, and they feared her wrath. But what drove Zhivkova, a high-ranking communist official, to help a seer? A year earlier, in 1973, Zhivkova was in a horrific car crash that left her with severe brain trauma. Her bodyguard said that after the accident, she began to explore healers, herbalists, and the occult. It seems that on the brink of death, she touched an invisible truth, a truth that set her on a new path. After Vanga recovered, her meetings with Zhivkova became more frequent, shifting towards the mysticism of Indian spiritual teachings. Zhivkova was trying to decode celestial secrets. Vanga could see her pure intent and helped, even when it exhausted her. After one 12-hour session, Vanga got out of the car and said, "Oh God, you gave me great glory, but you also loaded me with a heavy cross to bear." Their final meeting was behind locked doors for 7 hours. Afterwards, Vanga was completely drained. A few days later, the news came: Lyudmila Zhivkova was dead. Vanga was shocked. She said she never sensed her friend's time was up. The recordings of their meetings mysteriously disappeared after Zhivkova's death, and what they discussed remains a mystery. But Vanga's prophecies live on. She said that in 2025, a conflict in Europe will devastate the continent's population. By 2028, humanity will turn to Venus for new energy sources. Between 2033 and 2045, the polar ice caps will melt, ocean levels will rise, and the world economy will leap forward. Around 2180, she predicted, alien races will openly reveal themselves to humanity. Vanga often spoke of beings from a planet called Vamfim, who would take her to their world. She described it as beautiful beyond words, with stars all around. The future she saw wasn't all positive. She spoke of droughts, Martian colonies with nuclear weapons seeking independence, and humanity discovering something terrible while searching for life in space. By the year 3797, life on Earth's surface will end, forcing us to migrate to another solar system. But from there, humanity will reach its highest level of development. Between 4302 and 4674, we will achieve immortality, cure all diseases, and communicate with God. Evil and hatred will be forgotten. And in the year 5079, everything will end. What that means, we can only guess. Baba Vanga passed away in 1996, leaving behind a legacy of mystery and wonder. Her house is now a museum, a testament to a life lived beyond the ordinary. Her story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of immense hardship, the human spirit can find extraordinary strength. What do you think of her prophecies? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.